The humiliating gift captain Elena Vasquez stood in the grand chamber of the Intergalactic Trade Commission, her crisp blue uniform a stark contrast to the exotic appearances of the alien delegates surrounding her. The chamber was a marvel of engineering, built into an asteroid that had been hollowed out and converted into a neutral meeting space. Crystal formations grew from the walls, providing natural lighting that cast dancing shadows across the faces of beings from dozens of different worlds. The Xanthari delegation sat to her left, their tall, crystalline bodies reflecting the ambient light like living prisms. Their leader, Ambassador Thexol, communicated through harmonic frequencies that the universal translators converted into cold, precise words. The Mordak representatives occupied the right side of the chamber, their thick armored hides and multiple eyes giving them an intimidating presence. Between them, the graceful Zillion delegates floated in their environmental suits, their tentacles moving in complex patterns as they discussed humanity's fate. Today would determine whether humanity would be accepted into the galactic community or remain isolated on the outer rim of civilized space. Elena had spent months preparing for this moment, studying each species' customs, learning their languages, and understanding their concerns about this young species that had only recently developed faster than light travel. The chamber fell silent as the commission's chairman, an ancient Zillion named Quithara, began the proceedings. The chairman's voice carried the weight of centuries as it echoed through the chamber. We gather today to determine the status of the species known as humans. They have requested membership in our trading alliance and the privileges that come with it. Elena felt her heart racing but kept her expression neutral. Everything humanity had worked for during the past 50 years of space exploration came down to this moment. The various species had different reasons for supporting or opposing human membership, and she needed to navigate these carefully. Ambassador Thexol's harmonic voice cut through the air like a blade. The Xanthari Collective has reviewed the humans' technological capabilities. Their engineering is primitive by our standards. Their ships are slow, their weapons are crude, and their understanding of quantum mechanics is barely adequate for interstellar travel. The Mordak representative, General Gruxus, spoke with a voice like grinding stone. The Mordak Empire agrees with the Xanthari assessment. These humans have shown little innovation beyond basic fusion drives and projectile weapons. They lack the sophistication required for true membership in our alliance. Elena had expected this criticism. Human technology was indeed behind that of the other species, but she had hoped their rapid advancement would be seen as potential rather than weakness. She stood to address the chamber. Honored delegates, humanity may be young in the galactic community, but we bring something valuable to this alliance. We bring fresh perspectives, new approaches to old problems, and an unlimited desire to learn and grow. The Zillion chairman floated closer to Elena, studying her with large, intelligent eyes. Captain Vasquez, your species' enthusiasm is noted. However, the Trade Commission must consider practical matters. What can humanity offer that our alliance does not already possess? Elena had prepared for this question. We offer our labor, our raw materials, and our dedication to building a better future for all species. We may not have the most advanced technology, but we have something that cannot be built or programmed. We have human determination. A ripple of what might have been amusement passed through the alien delegates. The Xanthari ambassador's crystalline form flickered, with what Elena had learned was their equivalent of laughter. Human determination, an interesting concept but hardly a tangible resource. The debate continued for hours. Elena listened as each species presented arguments for and against human membership. The Xanthari focused on technological inadequacy. The Mordak questioned human military capabilities. The Zillions worried about cultural compatibility. Other species raised concerns about human expansion and resource consumption. Finally, Chairman Quithara called for silence. The Commission has reached a decision. By a narrow margin, we will grant humanity probationary membership in the Intergalactic Trade Commission. However, this membership comes with conditions. Elena felt a mix of relief and apprehension. Probationary membership was better than rejection, but it meant humanity would have limited rights and would be constantly evaluated. What are the conditions? Elena asked. First, humanity must prove its worth through practical contributions to the Alliance. Second, human expansion must be limited to pre-approved sectors. Third, human technology must be upgraded to meet minimum safety standards for interstellar commerce. The chairman paused. And to assist with this final condition, the Commission has prepared a gift for humanity. Elena's relief grew. A gift of technology could help humanity advance decades in just a few years. The Commission's generosity is greatly appreciated. What is this gift? General Gruxus spoke up with what Elena now recognized as barely contained amusement. The Mordak Empire has generously donated one of our decommissioned mining vessels. It has served faithfully for over 3 centuries and should provide humanity with an excellent example of proper interstellar engineering. The chamber filled with sounds that Elena realized were the alien equivalent of snickers and chuckles. Her heart sank as she understood what was happening. They were giving humanity their garbage. This vessel, continued Ambassador Thexol, is designated as Mining Platform 7 Alpha. It is equipped with basic life support, standard propulsion systems, and elementary cargo handling capabilities. It should serve as an adequate training vessel for human crews. The Zillion chairman added, "The ship is currently docked at Station Omega 7. You may take possession immediately." Elena forced herself to smile and bow formally. Humanity is grateful for this generous gift. We will put it to good use. As the formal ceremony concluded, Elena heard the whispered conversations of the alien delegates. They were placing bets on how long it would take for the human crew to give up and abandon the ship. Some estimated weeks, others months. None gave humanity more than a year before they would come crawling back, begging for something better. 3 days later, Elena stood in the docking bay of Station Omega 7, staring at their gift. The ship was enormous, nearly 2 kilometers long, but it looked like it had been through a war. The hull was covered with patches and repairs, some of which appeared to have been made with different types of metal. Scorch marks indicated past battles or accidents. Several sections looked like they had been crudely welded together, giving the ship a patchwork appearance. Chief Engineer Marcus Chen floated beside her in zero gravity, his expression growing more grim as he studied the vessel. Marcus was a thin man with graying hair and sharp eyes that missed nothing. He had designed fusion reactors for the Earth Defense Force and had supervised the construction of humanity's first interstellar colonies. "It's worse than I thought," Marcus said quietly. "The hull integrity is compromised in at least 12 places. The reactor is running at maybe 30% efficiency. The life support systems are held together with hope and spare parts." Elena's communications officer, Lieutenant Sarah Kim, approached with a tablet full of data. Sarah was young and enthusiastic, but even she looked discouraged as she read her reports. "Captain, I've been monitoring alien communications traffic. They're taking bets on how quickly we'll give up and abandon the ship." Elena felt anger building in her chest, but she kept her voice calm. "What are the odds?" "Most are betting we won't last 6 months. The Zinthari delegation thinks we'll give up within weeks once we realize how much work it needs." Elena studied the ship more carefully. It was junk, no question about it. But it was big junk, and big meant potential. "Marcus, what's the cargo capacity?" Marcus consulted his tablet. "According to the specifications, it can carry about 50,000 tons of processed materials. The cargo bays are modular, so they can be reconfigured for different purposes." "And the power plant?" "Ancient but functional. It's a basic fusion reactor, probably designed 60 years ago. Not efficient, but it works." Elena smiled for the first time since seeing the ship. "Then we have something to work with." Sarah looked confused. "Captain, you can't be serious about using this thing. It's a disaster waiting to happen." "No, Lieutenant. It's an opportunity waiting to be seized." Elena turned to face her crew. "They gave us this ship because they thought we'd fail. They expect us to struggle with it, to embarrass ourselves and eventually to give up. They want to prove that humans don't belong in their alliance." Marcus nodded slowly. "But you have a different idea." "I have a crazy idea. What if we don't? Just repair this ship? What if we completely rebuild it from the inside out? What if we show these aliens what human engineering can really do? The crew exchanged glances. Elena could see doubt in their eyes, but also a spark of something else. Hope, maybe. Or just the human refusal to accept defeat. It would take months, Marcus said. Maybe years. And we'd have to do it in secret. If the aliens knew what we were planning, they might try to stop us. Then we work in secret, Elena replied. We take this ship to the asteroid belt, find a hidden facility, and we rebuild it completely. We show them that human determination isn't just an abstract concept. It's the most powerful force in the galaxy. Sarah looked at the ship again, but this time Elena saw something different in her expression. What are you thinking, Captain? Elena smiled. I'm thinking that they just gave us the raw materials to build something they've never seen before. Something that will shock the entire galaxy. Over the next week, Elena quietly assembled a team of humanity's best engineers, scientists, and technicians. They met in secret locations, communicating through encrypted channels, always careful not to reveal their true purpose. Each person Elena approached had the same initial reaction: disbelief, then skepticism, then growing excitement as they understood the scope of what she was proposing. Dr. Amanda Foster, humanity's leading expert in exotic matter physics, was the first to join the project. You want to rebuild a mining ship into what exactly? She asked during their clandestine meeting in an abandoned warehouse on Luna. Into something that will force the galaxy to take humanity seriously, Elena replied. Something that will prove human ingenuity is worth more than advanced technology. Dr. Foster studied the ship's specifications Elena had provided. The power requirements alone would be enormous. We'd need to completely replace the reactor, upgrade the hull, install new systems throughout. It's like trying to turn a horse-drawn cart into a starship. Can it be done? Dr. Foster was quiet for a long moment. Theoretically, yes. But it would require some very creative engineering. We'd be building technologies that don't officially exist yet. Elena felt her excitement growing. What kind of technologies? Adaptive hull materials that can change configuration based on mission requirements. Quantum entangled communication systems for instantaneous data transfer. Plasma-based propulsion that could make the ship faster than anything the aliens have ever built. Dr. Foster's eyes gleamed with the possibilities. And that's just the beginning. One by one, Elena recruited the team that would make the impossible possible. Each person brought unique skills and perspectives that would be essential for the project's success. They called themselves Project Renaissance, the rebirth of humanity's reputation in the galaxy. The team included Dr. Robert Hayes, a former military engineer who specialized in adaptive weapons systems. His role would be to ensure their rebuilt ship could defend itself if necessary. Captain Lisa Wang, a test pilot who had pushed experimental aircraft to their limits, would help design the ship's new flight systems. Dr. James Crawford, a computer scientist who had developed AI systems for asteroid mining, would create the ship's new intelligence network. We're going to need a place to work, Marcus pointed out during one of their planning sessions, somewhere isolated where we won't be disturbed or observed. Elena had already thought of this. I know a place, asteroid field in the Centauri system. My brother runs a mining operation there. Small, independent, off the main shipping routes. Perfect for our needs. The plan was ambitious beyond anything humanity had ever attempted. They would strip the ship down to its basic framework, then rebuild it using human innovations and determination. They would create technologies that the aliens had never imagined, hidden within the familiar shell of a mining vessel. But first, they had to get the ship to their secret facility without arousing suspicion. This meant making it look like they were simply trying to repair and use the ship as intended. Elena filed flight plans for a routine mining expedition, hired a small crew of actors to play the role of miners, and prepared to embark on the greatest deception in human history as the patched-together ship slowly departed Station Omega-7. Elena stood on the bridge watching the alien vessels in the distance. She could almost hear their contemptuous laughter as they watched the humans struggle with their gift. Several alien ships followed at a distance, probably wanting to witness the inevitable breakdown that would prove human inadequacy. "Let them. Watch," Elena said quietly to Marcus. "Let them think they know what we're doing. When we're finished, they'll understand that the biggest mistake you can make is underestimating human determination." The ship limped away from the station, its engines running rough, its hull groaning under stress. To outside observers, it looked like a desperate attempt by an inferior species to make use of superior technology. But Elena knew better. This was the beginning of something that would change the galaxy forever. The impossible transformation. 6 months after departing Station Omega-7, the ship formerly known as Mining Platform 7 Alpha floated in the shadow of asteroid XK-739, hidden within the vast Centauri mining field. What had once been a decrepit mining vessel was now unrecognizable, though to casual observation it maintained the same external appearance. The transformation had been so complete that even Elena sometimes forgot they were working with the same ship the aliens had mockingly given humanity. Marcus Chen floated in what had once been the main cargo bay, surrounded by a forest of holographic displays showing system diagnostics. The space around him hummed with activity as teams of engineers worked on the final integration phases. The cargo bay had been converted into a central hub where all of the ship's new systems connected and coordinated. "Status report," Elena requested as she drifted over to Marcus's position. Marcus gestured to the displays around him. "The new reactor is running at 112% of design specifications. Dr. Foster's exotic matter containment system is working perfectly. We're generating more power than some alien battleships." Elena studied the energy readings. The numbers were almost impossible to believe. "And the hull modifications?" Dr. Hayes outdid himself. "The adaptive armor plating can reconfigure itself based on threat assessment. It can become transparent for stealth operations, reflective for energy weapon defense, or ultra-dense for kinetic protection. The aliens have never seen anything like it." Dr. Amanda Foster approached, her face glowing with excitement. "Elena, you need to see what we've accomplished with the propulsion system. We've moved beyond simple fusion drives into something completely new." Elena followed Dr. Foster to the engineering section, where a massive cylindrical chamber dominated the space. Inside the chamber, streams of plasma flowed in complex patterns, contained by magnetic fields that pulsed with rainbow colors. "This is a plasma-fold drive," Dr. Foster explained. "Instead of just pushing against space, it actually folds space-time around the ship. We can travel faster than light without entering hyperspace. The alien sensors won't even detect us moving." Elena watched the mesmerizing dance of energy within the chamber. "How fast can we go?" "In testing, we've achieved speeds that would take us across the galaxy in weeks instead of years. But speed isn't the only advantage. We can appear anywhere without warning, change course instantly, and our energy signature is virtually undetectable." "Captain." Lisa Wang joined them, her flight suit stained with grease and her face showing the excitement of a pilot who had just test-flown the impossible. "Elena, this ship doesn't just fly. It dances. It moves like a fighter but carries the mass of a battleship. The aliens are going to be very confused when they see what we can do." Elena felt a surge of pride in her team. They had taken the galaxy's garbage and turned it into something that surpassed even the most advanced alien technology. But the real test was yet to come. "What about weapons?" Elena asked. Dr. Robert Hayes overheard and grinned. "That's the beautiful part. We don't need traditional weapons. The ship itself is the weapon." He led them to another section where what appeared to be standard mining equipment was displayed. Every tool on this ship can be reconfigured for combat. The mining lasers can be focused into cutting beams. The ore processing systems can manufacture ammunition. The cargo manipulators can grab and crush enemy vessels. Elena examined the equipment more closely. "So we maintain the appearance of a mining ship while actually being something much more dangerous." "Exactly. But the real innovation is the AI integration. Dr. Crawford has created something unprecedented." Dr. James Crawford appeared, as if summoned, his tablet showing cascading data streams. "Elena, I want you to meet Aria, Adaptive Response Intelligence Architecture. She's not just a computer program, she's a learning system that combines artificial intelligence with human intuition. A pleasant female voice spoke from speakers throughout the ship. Hello, Captain Vasquez. I am Aria. I have been observing your conversations and am excited to serve with this crew. Elena looked around in surprise. She's been listening to us? I apologize if that seems intrusive, Aria said. But I learn by observing human behavior and decision-making. I can anticipate needs, coordinate systems, and adapt to changing situations, faster than any alien computer system. Marcus nodded approvingly. Aria can run the entire ship by herself if necessary. She can coordinate repairs, manage resources, and even engage in combat. But she's designed to work with humans, not replace them. I prefer working with humans, Aria confirmed. Your species has an unpredictability that makes problem-solving more creative and effective. Elena was impressed by the sophistication of what her team had built, but she knew their greatest challenge was still ahead. How much longer before we're ready for operational testing? All systems are complete, Marcus reported. We've run simulations, but we need a real-world test to be certain everything works as designed. As if responding to his words, Lieutenant Sarah Kim's voice came over the intercom. Captain, we're receiving a distress signal from Sector 7. Human colony ship is under attack by raiders. Elena felt her pulse quicken. This was exactly the kind of situation they had been preparing for. Details, Lieutenant. The transport vessel New Horizons is carrying 3,000 colonists to the Kepler system. They're being attacked by a pirate fleet of unknown origin. The nearest Earth Defense Force ships are days away. Elena looked around at her team. Each face showed the same mixture of anticipation and determination. Opinions? Marcus spoke first. All systems are green. The ship is ready for deployment. Dr. Foster nodded. The plasma fold drive is stable. We can be there in hours. Captain Wang grinned. I've been waiting months to see what this ship can really do. Elena made her decision. Aria, plot a course for Sector 7, maximum speed. All hands prepare for our first operational mission. The ship that had once been mining Platform 7 Alpha disappeared from the asteroid field in a flash of folded space-time, leaving behind only a faint energy signature that would puzzle alien sensors for years to come. 4 hours later, the ship dropped out of plasma fold at the edge of the Kepler system. The tactical display immediately showed the situation. A large human transport vessel surrounded by 6 smaller raider ships. The transport's shields were failing, and it was clear they wouldn't last much longer. Raider vessels appear to be Korthak design, Sarah reported. Fast attack ships with heavy weapons. They're trying to disable the transport, probably planning to capture the colonists for slavery. Elena studied the tactical situation. The raiders had the advantage of numbers and firepower, but they were expecting to fight a defenseless transport. They weren't expecting to encounter something like her ship. Aria, what's your assessment? The raider vessels are configured for attacking unarmed targets. Their weapons are designed for disabling rather than destroying. They are not prepared for a military engagement. Elena smiled. Then let's give them something they're not prepared for. Dr. Hayes, are the defensive systems ready? All systems are operational, Captain. We can engage all 6 vessels simultaneously, if necessary. Captain Wang, take us in. Keep us between the raiders and the transport. The ship moved with impossible grace, accelerating from stationary to combat speed in seconds. The raiders, focused on their attack, didn't notice the new arrival until it was almost too late. Unknown vessel, this is Raider Command, came a harsh voice over the radio. You are entering a combat zone. Withdraw immediately or be destroyed. Elena activated the communication system. Raider Command, this is Captain Vasquez of the Earth vessel Renaissance. You are attacking human civilians. Withdraw immediately or face the consequences. The response was a burst of derisive laughter. 1 mining ship against 6 raiders? You humans never learn. Prepare to be boarded. The raiders turned toward Elena's ship, their weapons charging. Elena felt calm settle over her as she prepared for the moment humanity had been building toward for months. "All weapon systems stand by," she ordered. "Area, begin combat coordination." The first raider ship fired, its energy beams striking Elena's ship directly. The adaptive armor absorbed the impact and reflected it back, sending the raiders' own energy back at them. The raider ship's shields collapsed immediately. "Impossible," came the stunned voice over the radio. "How did you do that?" Elena didn't answer. Instead, she watched as her ship's hidden weapon systems deployed. What had appeared to be mining equipment transformed into precision combat systems. The mining lasers focused into cutting beams that sliced through raider armor like paper. The ore processors launched clouds of metallic particles that disrupted enemy electronics. Within minutes, all 6 raider ships were disabled, their crews evacuating in escape pods. The attack that should have overwhelmed a single mining ship had instead become a complete rout. "Transport vessel New Horizons. This is Renaissance," Elena broadcast. "Area is secure. Do you require assistance?" "Renaissance, this is Captain Martinez of New Horizons. We don't understand what just happened. How did a mining ship defeat 6 raiders?" Elena smiled. "We'll explain later. Captain, right now let's get your colonists to safety." As the 2 ships traveled together toward the Kepler colony, Elena knew that word of this encounter would spread throughout human space and beyond. The aliens who had given humanity a worthless ship were about to learn what human engineering could accomplish when driven by determination and ingenuity. 3 weeks later, Elena stood once again in the chamber of the Intergalactic Trade Commission. But this time, the atmosphere was very different. Instead of condescending amusement, she sensed confusion and concern from the alien delegates. Ambassador Thexal's crystalline form flickered with agitation. "Captain Vasquez, we have received disturbing reports about the vessel we provided to humanity. There are claims that it has capabilities far beyond what should be possible." Elena maintained a neutral expression. "The Renaissance has performed admirably in protecting human interests, Ambassador. We are grateful for your generous gift." General Grussus leaned forward, his multiple eyes focusing intently on Elena. "Our intelligence report suggests that your ship has been modified far beyond its original specifications. How is this possible?" "Human engineering," Elena replied, simply. "We took what you gave us and made it better." The Zelayan chairman floated closer, studying Elena with new respect. "Captain, our sensors detected energy signatures from your vessel that exceed anything in our databases. Your ship appears to be capable of faster-than-light travel without entering hyperspace. How did you achieve this?" Elena paused, considering her words carefully. "Chairman, when humanity received your gift, we understood it for what it was. You gave us your garbage expecting us to fail. You wanted to prove that humans don't belong in the galactic community." The chamber fell silent as Elena continued. "But you made a mistake. You underestimated human determination. You thought we would see limitations where we saw possibilities. You thought we would accept what you told us the ship was instead of deciding what it could become." Elena gestured to the holographic display showing technical specifications of the Renaissance. "We took your mining ship and turned it into something the galaxy has never seen. We combined human ingenuity with alien technology and created something that surpasses both." Ambassador Thexal's harmonic voice carried a note of concern. "Captain, are you saying that human technology now exceeds our own?" "No, Ambassador. I'm saying that human creativity exceeds anyone's expectations. We don't just use technology. We reinvent it. We don't just accept what we're given. We transform it into what we need." Elena looked around the chamber, meeting the eyes of delegates who had once looked down on humanity. "You wanted to test whether humans deserved membership in your alliance. You wanted to see if we could contribute something valuable to the galactic community." She smiled. "The answer is standing right here. We can take your failures and turn them into successes. We can solve problems you didn't even know existed. We can imagine possibilities that your advanced civilizations never considered." The Zelian chairman floated in contemplative silence for a long moment. "Captain Vasquez, humanity has certainly exceeded our expectations. But this raises new questions about the balance of power in our alliance. Elena nodded. Chairman, humanity doesn't seek to dominate or replace anyone. We seek partnership. We want to share our innovations while learning from your experience. Together we can build something greater than any of us could achieve alone. General Gruxus spoke with grudging respect. Your species has shown remarkable adaptability. The Mordak Empire acknowledges that we may have underestimated human capabilities. Ambassador Thexal's crystalline form stabilized as he reached a decision. The Zenthari Collective agrees to upgrade humanity's status from probationary to full membership. Your Renaissance project has demonstrated that human innovation is indeed valuable to our alliance. Elena felt a surge of pride and relief. Thank you, honored delegates. Humanity looks forward to contributing to our shared future. As the formal ceremony concluded, Elena reflected on the journey that had brought them to this moment. The aliens had tried to humiliate humanity by giving them garbage, but they had instead provided the raw materials for humanity's greatest triumph. The Renaissance floated in space outside the station, no longer disguised as a simple mining ship, but revealed as the marvel of engineering it had become. Other vessels from various species approached to study its design, their crews eager to understand how the humans had achieved the impossible. Elena knew this was just the beginning. The galaxy had finally learned what humans could accomplish when they refused to accept limitations. The species that had once mocked humanity's primitive technology now looked to them for innovations that could revolutionize space travel, defense, and exploration. The gift meant to prove human inadequacy had instead become the foundation of humanity's rise to galactic prominence, and it had all started with a simple refusal to accept that something was worthless just because someone else said it was. As Elena watched alien delegations queuing up to discuss technology sharing agreements, she smiled. The humans had taken the galaxy's trash and turned it into a treasure that would reshape the future of space exploration. The age of human determination had begun.